What's up, everyone? It's Michael Fight, and welcome to the show. Alright guys, let's talk about Game of Thrones Episode 7, The Broken Man. I will be going into spoilers in this part, so if you guys have not seen the episode, please wait until the next one because the entire episode will be spent spoiling what happened in Episode 7 of Game of Thrones. Okay, let's jump right into it. So the episode actually did a weird cold open, something that it's never done before. Typically after the last week on Game of Thrones, you see the opening and then it goes into the actual show, into the scene. But this time it actually started with something, which was a pretty crazy thing and something very new from them. So it was very like SVU style. But this time, instead of killing someone, they actually brought someone back. Again, because Jon Snow was dead and now he's no longer dead. But so the person that they brought back randomly, and everyone in the entire world that watched the episode went, wait, what? The Hound, Sir Clegane, he's been brought back, and apparently he's been working for Habitat for Humanity with the guy from Deadwood. Like random. But Septon is as this guy, the guy from Deadwood, who was basically there, and he's, the Hound is talking about, oh, I'm a changed man, and he was like, how many, dudes brought you down? And he was like, nah, it was this, like, giant woman, and she effed me up, and then a little girl stabbed me in the face or something. And that's the thing about this episode, is that it kind of made you almost feel bad again for the Hound, because for a while there, you kind of started, you're like, all right, he's protecting Arya, and, like, he's cool, and now you're like, oh, yeah, maybe he deserves redemption. He dies and comes back to life. But anyway, so like this Septon guy is pretty weird, right? And you're like, wow, where is he? And he's dead. Yeah, that's right. So they introduced a character who was not in the book series and then just fucking killed him in a matter of 30 minutes, which is really weird, right? I thought that was pretty interesting. But anyways, so, whatever this does, whether this sparks the Hound into going off on his own little adventure and, bringing him back into the plot line, maybe he'll be the one to take down Franken Mountain over in the city. Who knows? I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Anyways, so the next thing we get to see is the traveling Greyjoys. That's right, the Greyjoys, as they're making their journey to who the fuck knows where and why. They stop over at this cool little city, and we get to see where Theon's dick and libido actually went. I'm sorry, that joke was in poor taste, and I apologize. However, Theon's sister was actually exercising her queenly rights to take a hooker. She was just hooking up with chicks left and right, which I thought was pretty cool. Actually, it was a cool thing that really showed her character and showed that how strong she actually is. Not because whatever being strong means, having a bunch of women or whatever, but the fact that she was so confident in a time where, people were making fun of Marjorie Tyrell's brother for being gay, and she's like, oh, whatever, man, I'll fucking sleep with girls all I want. It's kind of cool. It just shows that she's a really strong character, and I'm actually kind of excited to see what she does in the future. Although it's very likely she's just gonna fucking die randomly, and it's gonna suck. Anyways, but yay, boobs. So the next part of the episode, I would say the other important part or the fun part of this episode, besides Marjorie Tyrell or Old Lady Tyrell dinging it over to Cersei, and Cersei had no snide comments this time, which is pretty awesome. She's like, it's just cool to see you fail, and this is all your fault. And Cersei's like, I know. And she's like, yep, and I get to watch you burn. Bye. I thought that was pretty cool. But I'll be honest, I'm getting super bored of the sparrows and shit. Like, something just needs to break with that, like, fast, because it's losing my interest. But the biggest part of this was this little fucking girl. She is amazing. Not only was she just a fucking strong, awesome character, but I just loved that she was like, no, this. Not this, you get this. I just love that about her. I love that they put a younger person into a role like this, and that she struck fear. Like, she knocked down Jon Snow, and Jon Snow became speechless. And only through Sir Davos were they actually able to get the aid of 62 guys to help them out. But nonetheless, like, I just thought that as a character is going to be really, really interesting, and it'll see how that progresses. Because unlike the other young character there, the little weirdo that throws people through the moon doors or whatever, this character was actually strong, seemed to have her wits about her, seemed to know history, political and military strategy. So, like, I thought that was pretty interesting, and I really like that. I like to see where they're going to develop that a little further. And, of course, the shock ending that we've all come to know and love. Arya getting freaking stabbed in the gut by that little bitch janitor that works over at the Faceless People. So annoying. We knew it was going to happen. I wanted it to be more of a battle. Like, I didn't want Arya to get wounded. Like, I wanted, her to come out and her to pull out Needle and just, like, F this girl up or something and like, be like, no, I have a name. I'm a Stark and blah. But, And she just gets stabbed and, she lives and now she's mortally wounded or just wounded in general and wandering the streets going, and everybody's looking at her like, this is weird. Why does this girl have red all over her chest? It's just weird, instead of being like, hi, little girl, you look like you've been stabbed several times and this is a city, not some freaking slum or whatever. So it's really weird. So I'm interested to see how that's going, but honestly, I would love for her to slip onto a boat and, make it somewhere. Maybe we can have her head over to a certain little conqueror. No, not like legitimately little conqueror, like a big conqueror, Daenerys, because, she's cool. But all right, guys, thanks a lot for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this recap of Game of Thrones Episode 7, The Broken Man, and I'll see you guys next week for more Game of Thrones action. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!